Page 65, one more time. This is a review on blues notes, accents, and syncopation, kind of all thrown in together. Good luck with all that. I want to point out a few things. We'll start in the right hand. Watch the accidentals right there at the beginning. A flat, A natural, F. And then on the next measure, both of those are A flats, because there's no natural sign. Then the third measure and the fourth measure. So watch the accidentals, that they're all over the place. Second line, third measure. They've stuck a triplet in there. 1 and a 2. 1 and a 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and a 2 and 3 and 4 and the syncopation right in there. Isn't that cool? 1 and 2 and that last measure, the second line. Third line, just the chords with the arpeggiator. You roll them. Just whoop. I play the bottom note on the beat. You can play the top note on the beat if you want. Some people prefer that. I just don't like the sound of it, so I don't. Last line, similar to the first line in many respects. Just look at this first measure. It's 1 and 2. You got to cross over to get the third finger on the A flat. I would recommend a 2 on that F because of what's coming. So do a 2 on that F, the last note in that first measure of the last line of this piece. Last two measures here. Let me show you a couple fingering possibilities here. You can finger this way. The half note is 1 2 4, 1 2 5 if you prefer. I don't care. Then you can do a 1 3 5 for the quarter notes, and then a 1 2 5 for the last chord. Showy. If you want to show it, move your hand around a bunch, do that. Or you could finger it in an extended position here, and you get the half note is 1 2 4, and the quarter notes are 2 4 5, and then come up to 1 2 5. Or the half note is 1 2 4. Then come up to 1 2 4 again for the quarter notes, and then 2 3 5 for the whole note. So it's like I'm using extended position. I'm just changing the middle notes. Experiment with those and see what you think, because there are going to be times when you're going to want to use one, and other times where you're going to want to use a different fingering, and it's good to be able to do these whenever you need to. You never know what the piece is going to. It has to do with, maybe it's not at the end of the piece. Maybe there's more stuff after this and you need a certain fingering to prepare for that, or who knows. But just explore these different fingerings, because any of those, in my opinion, are fine. Which way I'm going to do it? I'm probably going to do it the last way I explained, because that's typically the way I would do it. Left hand. Again, it's the accidentals. To watch it at the beginning here. 1, then up. Fourth finger on the A flat. 3. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Third finger on the B flat. So it's a B natural in the last measure of the first line. Now watch the accidentals. They're tricky. In the second line, same thing, except the last measure, there's a G flat. Oh, that sounds cool, don't it? Then when you get to the third line, it's the left hand that gets the fun stuff. Basically, it's similar to what you had before, but 1 and 2. Watch the fingering. Second measure, just scrunch your hand up a little, and the fourth finger on the. And then you reach down, because it's an octave. Between the second and third measures, it's just an octave. Last measure, counting wise is the tricky part. This is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So what the fingering, now the counting is what? Well, fingering 2 and everything else. Then you put the hands together and have a whole new adventure. It's like, what? 1 and 2. Even point out the accents, because there's accents on 2 and 4 on a lot of this, and they are important. So yeah, you want to do them 1 and 2. And also part of the syncopation too. Third line down. And then quietly, because you build up, you started loud, getting louder, and then all of a sudden you come down. And you repeat it, and it's a cool effect. At the bottom, very slowly, both hands. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2, 3 and 4. Just work it out really, really, really slowly. As slow as you need to. It's like 1 and, if you gotta go slow, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and but work it out really, really, really slowly, and eventually you'll be able to speed it up. 1 and 2 and 3 and then you'll eventually you'll get the idea. Really, you will eventually. You got repeats all over the place. You got a repeat sign at the end of the second line, so we're going to play the first 2 lines twice. Then the third line is surrounded by repeats, so we're going to play the third line twice. Then the fourth line is broken up, and it's got repeats on blah. So the first 2 measures of the fourth line, we're going to repeat that, and the last 2 measures of the fourth line, we're going to repeat that. But they got notes in here. And they got all these dynamics. So PP dash P dash MF dash F. That indicates you're going to play this 4 times. When they say repeat it 4 times, that's not accurate. You're actually going to play it 4 times. You're only going to repeat it 3 times. Their math is off. So the first time you're going to play it really, 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 really soft. Then you're going to repeat it, and you're just going to go up a little bit. It's still soft, but just a little. Then you're going to repeat it again, and you're going to get sort of loud. And then you're going to do it again, and now you're loud. And then you're going to go on. The beauty of doing this so many times is that by the time you've repeated it all these times, you actually learn the music. It's kind of built in. Then the last 2 measures, it says repeat 3 times. I think what they mean is play it 3 times total. The last time, very, very slowly. They say very slowly. I'm interpreting it. I'm improvising. I went very, very slowly. And then there's a fermata on the whole note and the quarter note on the last time. So I'm going to hold that left hand F, the fermata F, 2 counts on the last time we go. So it's like the last 2 measures, we play it 3 times. 1, again, very slowly. It's like, okay, That'll give you dynamics, so I assume you're going to stay loud the whole time, but that's up to you. Experiment with the dynamics and see what you'd like on that. Now they're suggesting for the acoustic jamming that you can do the left hand an octave lower. Here, instead of here. Do it down here. If you have a short keyboard, you can't, but if you have the full keyboard, you can. And you can do that yourself. Just take the left hand and take it down. And see what you think. Experiment with it. It's called improvising. So let's try this out really slow, just to double check the notes and the rhythms and all. I'm not going to do the dynamics, but I'm going to do all the repeats. So you can do the repeats. You do the dynamics. All that. Remember the accents, because we're reviewing accents. The syncopation it's built in. This is like, now this is a bluesy type piece, so I'm going to swing the eighth notes. So it's like the first line is written this way. I'm going to play it this way. Because that's sort of how it is. So see if you, let's try it and see if we can do it with swinging the eighth notes throughout the whole thing. So at this point, you sort of know it. Now you're just going to check your notes and rhythms with me. We're going to go really slow. I'm going to give us 4 counts since it's in 4/4 time. So go ahead and put your hands where they go. There we go. 1 and 2 and ready and go and. Repeat. Repeat. Rest. One more time. Go on. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Repeat. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3. Repeat. And dust.